You know, if Tarzan lived in like nowadays, he could be a very popular underwear model. Just saying. What's happening, my film nerds? David the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of The Legend of Tarzan! And The Legend of Tarzan is directed by David Yates, and it stars Alexander Skarsgård, Samuel L. Jackson, Margot Robbie, Christoph Waltz, almost messed up that name. And the movie, of course, is about Tarzan. It's an updated version of Tarzan, but this time it's not a retelling of the story so much. The story takes place 8 years later. He's been domesticated for 8 years, so he's living within the people in London. Of course, this is still take place in the early 1900s, late 1800s, still back then, which is pretty cool. And something's happening in the Congo. Some bad men, bad old Whitey is trying to steal from the black man again, trying to steal those precious jewels. So the Congo needs the aid of Tarzan, his expertise, he needs to go in there and save the day. And of course, Jane gets kidnapped. He needs to rescue her. So there we go. We got our Tarzan movie. So what did I think of The Legend of Tarzan? This movie kind of fucking bored me. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I was a little bored of this movie. I mean, partly why I was bored is I never really got into Tarzan. I didn't watch the previous movies. Apparently there was one with Christopher Lambert that came out in the 80s or whatever, late 70s. I don't know when it came out. And then there was a Casper Van Dien version that came out in the 90s. I did watch the Disney cartoon, and of course that was very Disney-fied, I guess. And it worked, but I never really got into The Legend of Tarzan. I was more of a George of the Jungle type guy, I mean, I watched those cartoons like crazy. Watch out for that tree! I mean, he was a spoof version of Tarzan, and that's what I loved. So that could be part of it, but also this movie just did not flow for me, and I actually started dozing off at one part, guys. That usually doesn't happen with me. Granted, I didn't have that much sleep the night before. I had a little lack of sleep, but that's happened before, and I never really started to... You get what I'm saying. Good things about this movie, when he starts doing his Tarzan thing, it is pretty cool. Fighting with the apes, swinging from vines. Yes, that's what we want to see. Performances. I really had no problems with the performances. Alexander Skarsgård is a good Tarzan. He fit the profile. He fit what they always want Tarzan to look like and be like. Margot Robbie, how can you go wrong? She's just freaking so goddamn gorgeous. Sam Jackson is always Sam Jacksoning it. Christoph Waltz always plays that creepy, weird, almost over-the-top villain that he's always seems to be typecasted in, but for some reason I don't ever hate him. I just hate the movies that they just don't... Seems like Tarantino knows what to do with this guy, but nobody else. Why is that? This movie tries desperately to be serious. It's nothing like the cartoon. They wanted to stray away from the Disney cartoon, even though we just saw The Jungle Book, and that was that was a masterpiece. So now you got this, and it just seemed I almost have a little theory about why this movie really didn't flow well and didn't really work as well, because David Yates, who directed the Harry Potter movies, recent Harry Potter movies, and he directed the Fantastic Beasts movies that's coming out later this year. A director with 2 big movies. You don't take much time on at least one of them. So I'm thinking he didn't take as much time with this one because sometimes it was a little messy. Even with the fighting, a lot of shaky cam. And it was CGI against real people sometimes. Didn't look as good as Jungle Book or some of the other shit that we've seen. Yeah. And the tone really tries to be serious, but not overly serious, not big time serious. It still has that element of ridiculousness. And this is what I want. This is what I want. If you're going to give me a Tarzan movie, do one of 2 things. First off, do it exactly like that Disney movie. That means Disney would have to do their live action thing, which they've been nailing lately. So give it back to Disney. Let them do their live action treatment like they did the Jungle Book, because like I said, Jungle Book was pretty much a masterpiece. Or go fucking serious. Tarzan, like I said, always looks like he's an underwear model, okay? He's got the long hair, no beard. He's usually pretty trimmed up. He's lean and really cut, really no hair on his chest at all. I even made the joke, it didn't look like, what was he, fucking wax his goddamn chest in the jungle? But he had some peach fuzz hair, but really, if you look at previous, it's just nothing there. Give me a big, brooding Tarzan with a hairy chest, big ass muscles, a beard, just ratty hair. Give me Weapon X. Give me Hugh Jackman as Weapon X in an X-Men Apocalypse. Give me that, and he's just straight up killing other animals, wrestling animals, and just killing them, killing people. Just go that fucking crazy with it and have him fall in love. Have Jane be an African woman. Straight out of Africa. Instead of just some white chick that just showed up and she grew up right here and she learned this and learned that. No. Have him actually fall for an African woman. Just to update it, if you wanted to try something new with Tarzan, if they decide to do it again like years down the road, because who knows what's going to happen in this movie, go that route. Make it R-rated. Why not? One of the two. Or just find a middle ground. I just wish the story flowed a little better. Like I said, when they were doing the flashback sequences, when it's not supposed to be an origin tale, but it kind of is, I really wish they would have just, as they're going on this adventure, he just runs into things and then has a flashback. Because sometimes it's like these flashback scenes just come out of nowhere and you're like, all right. They were trying to make Sam Jackson's character to be like the comic relief, and his jokes really fell flat for me. So, I mean, I just really didn't enjoy this movie. It felt like a long-ass movie. I was looking at my watch, and I was just going, when is it going to end? Like I said, there's some cool sequences when he's actually doing his Tarzan thing. That is pretty cool, even though sometimes with the fighting, it just seemed a little messy. But, yeah, I don't recommend seeing this movie, guys. I just really didn't enjoy it. I was kind of disappointed. Not with the performances or anything, just with the way that the was written and the way it flowed. It just didn't work, and I'm wondering if David Yates, working on 2 big projects, maybe that was part of it. Who knows? That's just my theory, but let me know if you saw Legend of Tarzan down below in the balls area, and let me know what you thought about it. And that's it, guys. Alright. I'm gonna go do some crunches, because Jesus Christ. Guy had fucking abs up to his forehead. See, we don't need that. Just a big, brooding dude. You know, like a Hugh Jackman. Like I said, Hugh Jackman, Weapon X. I mean, let's see that, because he did. That's what some dude like Tarzan would actually look like, not a fucking underwear model. Nothing against Alexander Skarsgård, but I'm just saying. All right. Talk to you later. And thank you for watching, you beautiful people. You go ahead and hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to my other channel too. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and visit filmjunkie.com for all my videos.